By now, I'm sure you're familiar with Ed and Lorraine Warren and the legacy they leave behind, not only as paranormal investigators, but in their work in fighting evil and spreading light. In my last video, I spent time alone in the Warrens Occult Museum, feeling the energy of some of the most demonic, cursed, and haunted items. But in my time there, speaking with Tony and the team, one of the most incredible things I gained was insight into who Ed and Lorraine Warren were beyond the chilling cases and investigations. Beyond the conjuring and the darkness they fought were two incredible people. I asked Tony what he would want the world to know about Ed Warren, and in this video, he will share exactly that. I hope you enjoy learning more about the Warrens just as much as I have. Here we go.
Behind me here is a mannequin of Ed Warren, because this is his outfit we wanted to show. And we show this at actually we call it Phantasma-Con now in Mohegan Sun. This is one of Ed's hats. That's one of his sunglasses. This is Ed's actual safari coat that he used to wear all the time. Now you'll see some old pictures of Ed wearing this safari coat. And it's got 4 pockets. Ed loved pockets, so in this pocket he'd put holy water. In this pocket he'd put a throwaway flashlight, and then he'd put, like a rosary in here or a crucifix in here, and he always had a pad and pencil. So he liked to have a lot of pockets. And This is one of his actual scarves that he probably got from Scotland.
Well, I wanted to ask you, since as we're filming this, today is Ed's birthday.
Yes, it is.
What would you like the world to know about Ed Warren, given who he was to you?
What I'd like the world to know about Ed Warren today is would have been his 97th birthday, September 7th, 1926 is when he was born. Ed was probably one of the most compassionate people that you'll ever meet. He taught me everything I know, but it's not just the paranormal that I remember Ed for. I remember Ed being very kind. He had 2 sides to him. Rough, tough Ed like John Wayne, like don't mess with me, and the other side was like a baby, like he loved animals.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of pets. He had a pet fox. He had a pet tarantula that somebody gave him. But he had a pet fox too that he kept in the house.
That is so cool.
And he was the most generous guy you'd ever want to meet. There was times when I'd be over the house back in the late 80s or even the mid 80s. I'd be here and I'm leaving. He'd give me a $20 or $40 and say, "Here, go get something for lunch for you and Judy," because we were broke. We didn't have any money. There were times when I didn't have a lot of money, but Ed would help me out, and so would Lorraine. He was a very kind man. He would give you a shirt off his back. He's a World War II veteran from the U.S. Navy. He was in the Armed Guard and almost lost his life by saving a fellow sailor when a tanker collided with his ship back on February 5th, 1945. And Ed was a lifeguard in life, in a civilian life. He was able to save his buddy and had survivor's leave, and married Lorraine on survivor's leave when he was 17 or 18. He was 18. And he was on a 3-day survivor's leave, and during that time he rushed home, married Lorraine, took a train back to base. But he was a very compassionate man, very knowledgeable in the occult. Probably the most knowledgeable person I've ever encountered in my life as far as the paranormal goes.
What was it like coming into a family like this? Like, were you prepared when you had met Judy? Like, what was that process and transition like, getting to know that?
Prepared.
And how did she let you know, like, this is what my family...
This is cool.
Yeah.
I was a police officer. That's how I met her. I saw her drive by me in a car, and she smiled and waved at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this girl's beautiful.
Yeah.
I was about 28.
Yeah.
And she drives by, and I followed her. She pulled into a strip mall and got out of the car and went into a dress store.
Yeah.
So I pulled my cruiser right in front of the dress shop. She came to the door of the dress shop, and she looked at me, and I went like this. I waved, and she gave me a funny smile and waved like this, and then turned around quick and went back in. And I thought, I'm in trouble now. She thinks I'm stalking her. Come to find out, she was looking she knew another cop in town.
Yeah.
And she was just waving at a cop she thought was him. But it was me. And the cop knew it because she called him up and said, some cop just followed me to the dress store where I work. And I thought the cop was you, Al, and
Meant to be, though.
Yeah. So he goes, "You want to meet her?" He says to me, Al says, "You want to meet her?" I says, "Yeah, I did. I met her." Immediately started to date her.
Yeah.
And about 3 weeks after that, maybe a month, she says, you want to go see, I didn't talk about her parents or nothing. She didn't either.
Yeah.
She says, you want to see my folks lecture at University of Connecticut? I said, oh, they're college professors, huh?
Yeah.
She started laughing. She goes, no, they're not college professors. They're psychic researchers. Haven't you ever heard of Ed and Lorraine Warren? I said, you're kidding. She said, no. She goes, we can go out at the Jorgensen Auditorium. We'll meet him in the green room. And that's how I first met Ed and Lorraine, in the green room of Jorgensen Auditorium at UConn.
So were you familiar with Ed and Lorraine prior to meeting Judy?
I heard the name before. I heard of them.
Yeah.
Very, very, like, in passing. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of had a feeling who they were. But then when I saw the lecture,
Yeah.
how sincere they were about what they talked about.
Yeah.
It's scary when people talk about a subject like devils and demons and ghosts, and they believe it 110%.
Absolutely.
They're not making up a story.
Yeah.
And I could tell by the way Ed spoke. And right after that, Ed says, we went back to the green room. I read that was, Mr. Warren, that was crazy. He said, let's go get a pizza. He always don't want to eat.
Yeah.
And we're out in Storrs, Connecticut. I don't know how he did it. We found the pizza place that was open late at night. And so we went to the pizza place, and Ed starts talking about more stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Ed, this is crazy, like demonic possession and stuff. And he's explaining it to me. And little unbeknownst to me, there's a guy, the guy who was sitting with Ed and Lorraine when me and Judy showed up to meet him.
Yeah.
Some young guy, probably about 30 years old. And I didn't know, but that was Gerald Brittle, who wrote The Demonologist.
Yes.
He was taking notes.
Oh, no
The
way.
whole time Ed was talking, he's taking notes on a yellow pad. And that was about 1970, late 79. So
Yeah.
the book came out in like 80, 81.
Wow.
But, of course, I was intrigued by all this. Who wouldn't be, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I couldn't say I'm a 100% believer at first. I wanted to know more, in other words. Convince me, Ed, that this is real. And he did. And maybe about 2 weeks after that, she says, oh, you want to have turkey dinner over at my parents' house on Sunday? That's when I first saw the museum.
So that was this home here that we just...
This home here.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, they've been here since 57.
Wow.
And the museum was set up approximately like this.
Wow.
A few other items that were in different spots, but I was scared in here because
Yeah.
Ed brings me to the haunted passageway, and we walk in, because I said, you want to see my museum? I said, sure I do. We walk in, and he's a wise guy, Ed, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, wait a minute, I got to go make a phone call. Stay right here. He just got through telling me, don't touch anything.
Yeah.
Everything in here is unblessed, unholy, it's dangerous, don't touch it, you're going to get problems. Now I'm standing like this. Honestly, God, I'm standing like this in the museum,
Yeah.
wondering, what is all this stuff? And he says, I'll be right back. I'm like, Dad, don't go. He goes, he starts laughing, and he goes down the hallway a little bit, you know. He didn't have a phone call. And he waited like a few seconds and came in laughing, you know. He goes, I just want to see your reaction.
Yeah.
So, and then he explained a lot of the objects right there to me, you know. So, this is it. This is the Occult Museum.
Absolutely.
And people always wanted to see it. Unfortunately, we had to close it because a neighbor complained that we were holding unlawful tours of the museum and we weren't properly zoned for it.
Right.
It's commercial zoning. And she complained to the town of Monroe, and they sent me a cease and desist order and made me stop, or they'd fine me $150 a day until I did stop. So I stopped, and I said, well, how else can I show this? Because Ed always used to say, you got to tell the public about what's real, what's...
And you're
give them a
carrying on his
warning.
legacy. Like, it's your responsibility to make sure that you uphold that, right?
You know, people like to knock us saying, like, what are you showing that stuff for? I told you before, it's for evidence, and people want to see it.
Yes.
And you want to burn like modern art at the Museum of Modern Art, just throw it away? Or do you want to show it to people? So I want to show people the dangers of dabbling in the occult. And that's what Ed used to tell me. You got to show these people that this stuff is real, that these incidents really happen.
Which is why October 28th, 2023 is an ample opportunity for anyone who wishes to have a glimpse into this.
See, we're going to have a lot of objects there.
Yeah.
We will have the Annabelle doll, the real one.
Yep.
We'll have the movie doll, one of them from the movie. We'll have the crocodile from The Devil Made Me Do It. We'll have the shadow doll right back there. We'll have the satanic worship idol. We'll have the satanic skull. We'll have the conjuring mirror. We'll have a lot of things that we're going to bring that people want to see in person. They want to see it. So, you know, you should come. And
Yep.
Last year was fantastic. Last year we had about 6,000 people show up on one day. We'll have a VIP party the night before. On Friday the 27th is a VIP party, which when you go to nespr.ticketbud.com, you'll have events. It'll say VIP party, general admission, the museum tour. So, but to see the museum, you have to also get a general admission ticket, or you can get a VIP ticket, which gives you everything, which gives you a vendor. You can see the vendors, the celebrities for the VIP. They're going to be there, and you're going to hit the magic show, any show that we have, and the museum. Everything all in one ticket. That way.
I will have the link in the description box for you guys and on the screen here just below so you guys can see. Definitely come out. It's going to be an experience of a lifetime.
And Judy will be there, my wife, which is Ed and Lorraine's daughter.
That's a
Judy
huge
will
deal.
be there, and she's going to be selling these kind of bracelets. If you look here, she makes one or two of the beads on here. One or two of the beads
They're beautiful.
on her bracelets that she's going to sell will have Lorraine's cosmetic jewelry on it. One or two out of all of these will be Lorraine's real costume jewelry. She's got a tag that says NESPR Lorraine Warren on it.
Okay, that's special.
She's going to have over 100 bracelets. We're selling for, I think, $45. I can't remember. But every penny of the sale goes to animal charities and animal rescues. Judy has made a lot of bracelets. I don't know how many thousands. Because Lorraine had thousands of pieces of cosmetic jewelry that people gave her over the years, and she never threw one out. So say this right here, she would use one. Say this is all Lorraine's, and she'd make probably 10 bracelets out of that.
Yeah.
One or two of Lorraine's
But what a
beads.
beautiful idea.
And now she sells them, and she doesn't even deduct for like the cord, or for the fillings, or for the filling pieces. She doesn't deduct for expenses. So she sells them for $45 goes to.
You guys don't want to miss that. So definitely.
The greater good goes to Pets for Vets. We sent money to the Wounded Warrior Project on our own. I did from the Paracon, but for the animal charities, and the wildfires where the horses were displaced, everywhere there's a problem with animals having to be rescued or saved, she does it, and she sends to these good charities, ones that we know the money's going to be used properly.
Yeah, reputable.
And why does Judy do that? Well, number one, Ed and Lorraine were both dedicated animal lovers, and so is Judy, and so am I. We love animals. So, that's the whole thing. I remember Ed just stopping on the side of the road saying, "Hey, that dog is free. That dog is stray. Let's get it." And he'd take it and keep the dog. One time he drove by a farmhouse. There was a collie out sitting in the mud with a short leash. The farmhouse. And on the porch was a farmer sitting there in the summertime. The dog was dirty, muddy. Ed stops the car, walks up to the farmer and says, "Is that your dog?" The guy goes, "Yeah." Ed says, "I'm taking your dog."
And he did?
God, "I'm taking your dog." Takes him off the leash. You know what the guy said? "Okay." And Ed took it and had Duke.
Wow.
Had Duke for years. The collie.
Oh my god.
For years as his own dog. That's how special Ed treated animals.
Do you think you have what it takes to meet Annabelle and some of the most haunted items in the world? Well, here's your chance. You can get your tickets now for the Warren Seekers of the Supernatural Phantasma-Con on October 28th. Not only will you have the opportunity to see the real Annabelle doll among some of the most famous items from the museum, but tons of special guests will be there and more. Make sure to get your tickets now. Link will be in my bio, and I really hope to see you there.